eternal. The body changes, but I do not change. Very simple logic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 17, text number 133. Ataiva Krishna Nama Naise Taramukhe.
Ataiva
Krishna Nama Naise Taramukhe. Mayavadi Ganayate Mahabhayirmukhe.
Mayavadi
Ganayate Mahabhayirmukhe.
Ataiva Krishna Nama Naise Taramukhe.
Ataiva Krishna Nama Naise Taramukhe.
Mayavadi Ganayate Mahabharimukhe.
Mayavadi Ganayate Mahabhayirmukhe.
Ataiva Krishna Namana Aise Taramukhe.
Ataiva Krishna Nama Naise Taramukhe.
Mayavadi Ganayate Mahabhayirmukhe.
Mayavadi Ganayate Mahabhayirmukhe. Ataiva. Therefore, Krishna Nama,
Krishna Nama,
the holy name of Krishna.
the holy name of Krishna.
Na does not. I say, come. Tara mukhe, in their mouths. Mayavadi Gana, all the Mayavadis. Yate, because. Mahabhayimukhe, great offenders by dint of strong atheism. Translation. Because the Mayavadis are great offenders and atheistic philosophers, the holy name of Krishna does not come from their mouths. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Because they are constantly blaspheming the Supreme Personality of Godhead by saying that He has no head, hands, or legs, Mayavadi philosophers remain offenders for many, many births, even though they have partially realized Brahman. However, if such impersonalists are not offenders at the lotus feet of the Lord, they immediately become devotees in the association of a devotee. In other words, if an impersonalist is not an offender, he can become a devotee if he gets a chance to associate with other devotees. If he is an offender, he cannot be converted even by the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very much afraid of this Mayavadi offender. Therefore, he spoke as follows. Bhavakali Vachiteyami Alina Kashipure.
Bhavakali Vachiteyami Alila Kashipure.
Grahaka nahi navikaya lana yavagare.
Grahika nahi navikaya lana yavagare. Bhavakali Vachiteyami Ailana Kashipure.
Bhavam Kari Vachiteyami Ailana Kashipure.
Grahaka nahi navikaya lana yavagare.
Grahaka nahi navikaya lana yavagare.
Bhavakali Vachite Ami Ailana Kashipure.
Bhavakali Vachiteyami Ailana Kashipure.
Grahaka nahi navikaya lana yavagare.
Grahaka nahi navikaya lana yavagare. Bhavakali, devotional sentiments. Vechite, to sell. Ami, I. Ailana, came. Kashipure, to the city of Kashi. Grahaka,
Grahaki bahi.
there is no customer.
Navikaya,
Do not sell.
Lana
Yabaghare,
yabagare.
then I must take my commodity back home. Translation. I have come here to sell my emotional, ecstatic sentiments in this city of Kashi, but I cannot find any customers. If they are not sold, I must take them back home. Bari bojalana ailana kimani lana yaba.
Bari boja lana ailana kimane lana yaba.
Alpasvalpa mulya paile tai vechiba.
Alpasvalpa mulya
paile thai vechiba.
Bari bojia lana alina kamini lana yaba.
Bari goja lana ailana kimani lana yaba.
Alpasvalpa mulya paile itai vechiba.
Alpasvalpa mulya paile itai vechiba.
Bari boja lanya ailana kemane lanya yaba.
Bari goja lana ailana kimani lana yaba.
Alpasvalpa mulya paile thai vechiba.
Alpasvalpa mulya paile itai vechiba. Bari boja.
Bari boja.
Heavy load.
Heavy load.
Lana.
Lana.
Bearing.
Bearing.
Ailana.
Ailana.
I came.
I came.
Kemane.
Kamane.
How.
How.
Lana yaba.
Lana yaba.
Shall I take it back?
Shall I take it back?
Alpasvalpa mulya.
Alpasvalpa mulya.
A fraction of the real
A
price.
fraction of the real price.
Paile.
Paile.
If I get.
If I get.
Etai.
Itai.
Here.
Here.
Vechiba.
Vechiba.
I shall sell.
I shall sell.
Translation. I have brought a heavy load to sell in this city. To take it back again is a very difficult job. Therefore, if I get but a fraction of the price, I shall sell it here in this city of Kashi. Purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was selling the transcendental holy name of the Lord. However, Kashi was a city of Mayavadis, impersonalists. And as such people will never chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Consequently, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling disappointed. How could he teach the Mayavadis the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? The attraction for chanting the holy name of the Lord belongs absolutely to pure devotees, and there was no possibility of finding pure devotees at Kashi. Consequently, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's commodity was certainly very heavy. The Lord therefore suggested that even though there were no pure devotees in Kashi, if someone was a little inclined to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, he would deliver this big load, although the proper price was not paid. Actually, we experienced this when we came to preach the Hare Krishna movement in the West. When we came to New York in 1965, we never expected that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra would be accepted in this country. Nonetheless, we invited people to our storefront to join in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and the Lord's holy name is so attractive that simply by coming to our storefront in New York, fortunate young people became Krishna conscious. Although this mission was started with insignificant capital, it is now going nicely. The spreading of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the West has become successful because the young people were not offenders. The youths who joined this movement were not very advanced as far as purity was concerned, nor were they very well educated in Vedic knowledge. But because they were not offenders, they could accept the importance of the Hare Krishna movement. We are now very happy to see that this movement is advancing more and more in the Western countries. We therefore conclude that the so-called Mlechas and Yavanas of the Western countries are more purified than offensive Mayavadis or atheistic impersonalists. Om Gyan Tirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakayam Chakshunam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master's divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
So, yesterday we have received a comment on Instagram from a young lady. She was asking a question. She was trying to clarify this first shloka from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Lord Chaitanya says that the Mayavadis, because they are offenders, the holy name will not come from their mouths. So this lady, she asked, she says, I have a poor knowledge about these topics, but I have never truly understood why is there so many tension between personalists and impersonalists. As I understand, impersonalists also are aware of God's laws like karma and reincarnation. They are aware of spiritual and material nature. They understand that their true identity is the soul identity. They just worship another aspect of the very same God. I don't understand why they're being called atheist. I'm not even sure if I understand the concept of atheism, because everybody has faith and everybody worships directly or indirectly. I understand an absolute goal is to develop personal love for God, but is impersonalistic way of worship really that bad and dangerous? Can you explain that to me? So this is a very nice question. First of all, we should understand what is the aim of human life. That is very important. Because, yes, we are the spirit soul. That is true. Krishna explains, Deinosmin yatadihi kaumanam yoganam chara tata dehantara prapti dirastatra namuyati. As the body changes from child to youth to old age, similarly we change bodies from one life to another. But we're not changed, we're not finished, we're not dead, we're the soul, we're eternal. Nanate hanyamani sharire. No one can kill the spirit soul. It is eternal. We're eternal. The body changes, but I do not change. Very simple logic. So this, of course, is very important to understand. But this is not the end of all knowledge. Right now, in the body, we have so many activities. Some people will say that, oh yes, I am soul, but because I'm in the body right now, I have to eat, I have to sleep, I have to mate, I have to defend. So many activities I have to perform. So, I cannot neglect the body. I also have to take care of the body. This is true. But ultimately, we're not the body, right? So, we should inquire, where is this idea of preserving the body or protecting the body? Where is it coming from? If the soul is eternal and in one sense detached from any need or from any work or from any pleasure, material pleasure, where is this need coming from to preserve the body? Krishna says that even if you're an atheist and you think that there is no soul, somehow or other the material elements, they come together, and by their interaction consciousness is developed. Even if you think like that, then there's no need of lamentation. And lamentation means lamentation of the death. In other words, still, even if you think there is no soul, it doesn't really explain why you want to take care of the body. Because the body remains. When a person dies, the body stays there as the same. Why we feel the need to preserve the body? The body is preserved. From one angle you can say it is preserved. When the person dies, all the elements, the body doesn't disappear, it lies down on the bed. And from another point of view, it's always changing, right? There's nothing, it's always deteriorating. From a child to teenage to youth to an old age, it always changes. So, which body are you lamenting for? The childhood body, the youthful body, the old body? Because the old body also, you put it in a grave, then it is eaten by worms. Always, everything is changing in this world. It's a constant flux. So where is it coming from? It is coming from the soul. This is a logical explanation. We don't even have to touch any scripture. Simply by logic, by argument, we can understand. This must be a spiritual desire. I want to preserve. So, yes, I want to preserve. And how do I preserve the body in this world? By service. I have to do something. There is activity. So, in the same way, we can understand that in the spiritual sense, there is activity. The body is inactive. When the soul leaves the body just lies there like nothing. Again, by hypothesis, we can come to the understanding that there must be activity in the spiritual realm. And when we speak of activity, there must be varieties. As soon as I move, if there's activity, just like I want to go somewhere, right? So there must be a path. There must be, if I want to go take a walk, there must be a pathway through which I can go. There must be a planet, there must be varieties of creations. If everything is one, undifferentiated, just like the Mayavadis, impersonalists, they say, there's no question of activity. You see? So, yes, self-realization is undoubtedly the first step in our relationship with God. We must understand that we are eternal. The body is simply a vessel, a car. We have a spiritual, eternal nature. We should not be concerned so much for material things. But at the same time, we have our original activity, spiritual activity, and that is service to Krishna, to God, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is our original activity. So as soon as you say, me and God are one, everything is one, that devotional service is nullified. It is nullified. There is no question of service. You see? So from this point of view, the impersonalist philosophy is incomplete. It is incomplete. And furthermore, it doesn't give pleasure to the self. See, my pleasure is when I engage in devotional service to Krishna. That is the pleasure of the soul. If you water the roots of a tree, automatically all the branches and leaves are nourished without separate endeavor. Similarly, if I serve Krishna, I am a part and parcel of Krishna. I am not separate from Krishna. The oneness is included. In the personalist philosophy, the impersonal philosophy is included, but not the other way around. Not the other way around. Just like you might have a Facebook account or Instagram account, right? So, in one sense, it is not different from you. You are in charge, you're putting things there, you put your photographs. It is not different. But at the same time, if you say that there's a completeness of your personality in this account, that is not a fact. There might be an aspect of your personality on the Instagram, but not the whole personality. So your account is an aspect of your personality. But if I talk to you personally, your Facebook account and whatever you put is included in your personality. It is all there because you are the origin. Similarly, the impersonal aspect is compared in the Vedas to the sunshine and the sun. The sunshine might be all-pervading everywhere, but it is coming from the sun planet. If you go to the sun planet, there is sunshine automatically. But simply receiving sunshine into your room doesn't mean there's a sun planet in your room. You see, so for this reason, the personal aspect is superior. It is not some kind of a question of opinion that you can choose impersonal or personal depending on your taste. No. It is superior, and the personal aspect contains the impersonal. Impersonal aspect denies the personal. So naturally, there's always a conflict between these two. The impersonalists, they try to deny devotional service and the personality of Godhead. That's why they're offenders. If I say that Krishna is just like me, that Krishna is the manifestation of some higher impersonal principle, then there is no difference between me and Krishna. And since there is no difference, then it is just like watering on a branch. See, the Mayavadis, they confuse that Krishna is not the root, Krishna is just another branch. So you don't have to water the branch Krishna more than the other branches. You see? And finally, we come to the conclusion there's no need to water the branches anyway, because the tree is one. There's no difference between the root and the branches. So in this way they confuse, the Mayavadis, they confuse everyone. So for this reason, Lord Chaitanya, who is Krishna himself, is giving a warning that these Mayavadis are the greatest rascals. Because they confuse everyone. We have originally this Mayavadi tendency. Every single conditioned soul has this tendency. We come back to Dainasminyatade here. Why we have this material body in the first place? Can you explain why we're suffering here? The Mayavadis, they say like this, that the Brahman, or the impersonal aspect of God, or impersonal God, is experiencing pain for his pleasure. He takes birth as a conditioned soul. He divides himself into different conditioned souls, and just for his pastime, he's experiencing all the pains of the material existence. So such a theory is illogical, because Brahman, or God, the Absolute, cannot be divided. As soon as we divide, if we cut the spirit, then it loses its eternity or stability. Right? Krishna says that the soul cannot be cut by any weapon, it cannot be burned by fire, cannot be withered by wind, cannot be moistened by water. He gives a definition of spirit. So Brahman is supposed to be the supreme spirit. So you cannot cut into different parts. It goes against logic. You see? So what is the explanation? Why we're having this material body? This is a punishment. I do not want to die. I don't want to be diseased. I don't want to suffer old age. I don't want to suffer inebrieties caused by other living entities, or the weather, or by my own body, mind. But it is enforced upon me. I don't want to die, but I have to die. I don't want to get old, I have to get old. So why is this enforced upon me? To simply say, oh, it is nature, it is like that, that is not a very high level of understanding or high level of intelligence. We must inquire. That is what distinguishes us from the animals. The animals, when they're in a slaughterhouse, so much pain is going on in slaughterhouse. So they take one animal to be slaughtered. The other animals are not inquiring. Oh, where is he coming? Oh, it is not me, that's okay. This indifference. A human, a being should not be indifferent. He should inquire. What is the cause of things? So I do not want to die. I don't want to suffer. Why there's a conflict? For what? So this material body is a punishment. Why are we getting punished? Because we're trying to become the Lord and Masters. Our original spiritual activity is service. In the spiritual world, even Krishna engages in service. See, service makes everything nice. We serve one another instead of trying to control one another. Or you do what I want, and if you don't do it, then I'll do something to you, like that. If we serve one another, oh Prabhu, what would you like? I want to become your servant. The other devotee also, same mentality. No, I want to be your servant. This is the mentality in the spiritual world, in Krishna Loka. All the devotees are serving one another. And Krishna is also serving the devotees. Simply service. Although Krishna is the Supreme Godhead, the Supreme Enjoyer, even He takes pleasure in service. This mastership is only in the material world. I want to control. Actually controlling, why we want to control? Because the material energy is fighting us. We fighting the material energy, and the material energy is fighting us. So we want to struggle. But in the spiritual world, there is no such influence. So everyone is engaged in service. This is our original position. So when we try to control in the spiritual world, we try to control Krishna. Krishna gives us this illusion. You cannot control Krishna. That is nonsense. Because Krishna is Godhead. Krishna is the Supreme Soul, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eternally. Just like you eternally, a minute soul, Krishna explains. Natu evam jatuna swam na tvam nemi janadpa.
Shaivana bhavishamaha sabhavayam ataparam.
Very good. Never was there a time when I did not exist. Nor you nor all these kings. Never shall there be a time when we cease to exist. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. Shveta Shavatara Upanishad explains. There's supreme eternal and there are minute eternals. There's the supreme conscious and there's the minute conscious. So Krishna can never fall down. Krishna can never become subservient. He's serving out of pleasure. We're serving out of our constitution. So when you try to change that constitution foolishly, Krishna gives you the illusion. Yes, you can be the Lord and Master in illusion. You can have the illusion. You cannot become Lord and Master truly, originally, because that is not possible constitutionally. But in illusion, you can be the Master. And that's why we are here. This is our punishment. The fulfillment of the desire is Maya. And Maya is punishment. Being in illusion, being in ignorance, this is our greatest punishment. So, as soon as we rectify that attitude of rebellion, of mastership, controlship, we go back home, back to God, back to Krishna. So, while we're trying to cure our disease, sometimes there's a relapse. Right? You have a cold or something, and if you're not careful, you go out, the disease comes back. Similarly, this material disease, I want to be the master and Lord of everything. Sometimes there's a relapse. So if a practitioner, serious practitioner of Krishna consciousness, is associating with these Mayavadis, whose very philosophy is meant to encourage this rebellion mentality that I am God, me and God are not different. And there's a danger of relapse. Then again he revives his foolish controlship mentality. So for this reason Lord Chaitanya gave warnings. I do not associate. He says, one who hears the Shariraka Bhashya, the commentary by Shankaracharya on the Vedanta Sutra, he will not be able to understand Krishna consciousness for many millions of births. See? So it is not a question that we hate. This is not the idea. A spiritually realized person, there's no question of hate or love. There's no partiality. But because we feel compassion for those who are suffering in the material existence, in ignorance, we're trying to give them a warning. If you are associating with the impersonalists, with the offenders, you yourself become an offender, and this will prolong your existence in the material world. See? Although this material body is not who I am, right now I'm perceiving so much pain, so many inebrieties. And as the age progresses, there'll be more and more pains. In the neophyte stage, if we do not take care of the body properly, it can disturb our spiritual practice. We should not be foolish. Everything is the energy of Krishna. His energy and Krishna are not different, but at the same time there's a difference. Krishna is the origin, the energy is the effect. So if we use the energy for Krishna, then it becomes non-different from Krishna. See? It becomes non-different. It is not different from Krishna. But so long I'm trying to lord it over, I'm trying to control, it exhibits as material energy. Chastising, Durga. Durga is the manifestation of that chastising faculty of Krishna, chastising potency, Durga. She's holding a trident that represents the threefold miseries of material existence. Adi Devika, Adi Bhotika, Adi Daivika. So if we utilizing energy for our own so-called lordship, our own so-called pleasure, material pleasure of the body, limited selfish pleasure, we'll get chastised. If we use that same energy for Krishna's service, we'll become spiritually realized. So, yes, we should be compassionate, not on the bodily platform. See, these are all designations. Ultimately, Mayavadi, everyone is a devotee, pure devotee of Krishna, simply forgotten. But so long one takes up these moods of rebelling against Krishna, then we must make discrimination. You see, but otherwise there is no hate. Right? These are just roles we're playing in this material world. So we must be careful. Why the Mayavadis are atheists? Because if there is no difference between me and God, there is no meaning to God. If everyone is supreme, imagine everyone becomes the president of the United States. There's a Trump, right? Right now it's Trump, president. So imagine one day every single citizen of USA becomes the president. And there's no meaning to the word president anymore. President means the supreme. The supreme. Similarly, God means the supreme personality. If there's no difference between me and God, if ultimately everything is impersonal, impersonal means no difference, no differentiation, there is no God. For this reason, Lord Chaitanya calls them atheists. See, there's no meaning to God if everything is one. God means my supreme master, a person I'm supposed to serve. It is not simply a word as a God, something vague, whatever. If I cannot explain, oh, it is God. No. It is very concrete. Krishna is a God. God must be a person. God means absolute truth. So if God doesn't have a personality, you have a personality. God doesn't have a personality. What kind of absolute is that? It is not like your personality. Krishna's personality, not like your personality. You can understand about the pains and pleasures of your body, but you cannot understand about the pains and pleasures of others. But Krishna, he understands about the pains and pleasures of every single living entity. Billions and billions of entities. This is his consciousness, supreme consciousness. Nityo Nitya. Chetanas Chetananam. That is the difference. But conscious, you are both, Krishna and you. That is oneness. So Lord Chaitanya is presenting the sublime philosophy where all these different philosophies, personalist and impersonalist, they're included. The sublime achinta abheda bhaida tattva. The inconceivable oneness. Samutena is oneness. and difference of God. This is the perfection of spiritual realization. So, we do not hate the impersonalists, but we must understand why the philosophy is disruptive on the path of perfection. Of course, if one does not want to practice, he does not want to advance, if he thinks, oh, I'm already spiritually realized, I don't need to practice any austerity, I don't have, I'm perfect, I realize, simply I know, then that's a different thing. But the acharyas, they have chalked out a path of perfection. There's a way how to advance from a platform, bodily platform, to the spiritual platform. We must apply certain rules and regulations. And one of them is to avoid things that are unfavorable for our advancement in Krishna consciousness. Just like any type of knowledge. If you study, there are certain things you have to avoid while you study. If you go to parties, if you don't do your homework, if you don't read your materials, you will not pass the exam. Similarly, in Krishna consciousness, it is like that. We have to follow the rules and regulations of the acharyas. And then the success is there. We see that many spiritual practitioners, they say, I'm spiritual. I'm not attached to anything material. But then in their privacy, they indulge in artificial necessities. They're attached to things that we do not need exactly for the body. Unnatural pleasures, just like drugs, for example. Drugs are so much deranging the body, right? It's so much bad for health. Why people take it? Because they're attached to sense gratification, unnecessary enjoyment. Enjoyment that binds you more and more. So it is not simply saying, I am spiritually realized. It must also manifest practically. The devotees of Krishna consciousness movements, they're free. They don't indulge in illicit sex life. They don't indulge in intoxication. They simply eat Krishna prasadam. They're so much controlled in their taste. They do not taste anything unless it is offered to Krishna. It is yoga. Yoga means controlling the senses. If we cannot control our senses, how can we control our mind? Now, the mind is the direct controller of the senses. Whatever we perceive by the senses, it stays in the mind. So if you're not able to control the senses, why do we cheat that, I can control my mind? You cannot. See, we can read the mind through this philosophy. This is what Krishna also explains in the 3rd chapter, Bhagavad Gita. The senses are superior to the sense objects. Whatever I see, the sense of seeing it is superior to that object of seeing. Above the senses, there is the mind. I can accept, reject what I see, what I don't see. Above the mind is the intelligence. See, if I sharpen my intelligence by hearing daily from the sastra, it gives me strength, spiritual strength, to control my senses, to become very determined in my practice of spiritual perfection. And above the intelligence, there's the soul. So if someone is not even able to control his senses, what to speak of his mind, what to speak of his intelligence? How can he have any spiritual knowledge? This is not some dogma, all these scriptures, the Vedas. You must have a very sharp intelligence to understand these topics. And, things that are disrupting the mind and the senses, that will not bring perfection to the intelligence. So this is how we can see. So I'll stop here. Are there any questions or comments?
Prabhu, can I ask something in reference to the purport also?
Yes, of course.
I was reading this morning when Lord Sri Chaitanya went to Benares and was talking to Prakashananda Saraswati. He converted the 60,000 Mayavadis.
Yes.
But it says here in the purport that if he is an offender, he cannot be converted even by the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes.
So, how to understand this point that he went to the... Because these are all... Prakrishananda Saraswati was a disciple of Shankara, so this is what we refer to as offenders, no?
Yes. Well, he cannot be converted if he doesn't want to be converted. It is like that. But even the greatest offender, if he comes to his senses, if he hears, they were hearing from Lord Chaitanya. They were not insulting him. They were hearing, they were attracted. Who is this sannyasi? So, and then Lord Chaitanya explained the science. And because they were sincere, they accepted. If someone, Prabhupada says, any intelligent person, he accepts this Krishna consciousness movement. It is not a question of belief. One must have some kind of a special ability, some special mystic powers or special intelligence. Right? The intelligence comes if you're sincere. Krishna will give you the intelligence to understand. So all that is required is sincerity. I might not be perfect. We should always think like that. I might not be perfect. I am, tinged by so many imperfections. Let me keep my mind open. Let me hear in this submissive way. Submissive means open-minded. Submissive doesn't mean brainwashed or less intelligent or fanatical. Submissive means open-minded. But in order to be open-minded, it is not that I accept everything. You must develop discrimination. And that comes from the understanding that I'm not the body. I am spirit soul. So if I'm not the body, why would I be? Why would I need things that are pleasurable for the body only? I must inquire about things that are spiritual, that are beyond this sense gratification, like that.
So just to clarify, when the Mayavadi sannyasis, they were saying that why are you chanting and dancing sentimentally? It wasn't like a critical, it was actually genuine, like sincere inquiry. How come you're chanting and you're in the garb of a sannyasi? How is it possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, questions are allowed. Just like this girl, she asked a nice question.
Okay.
So that's what we can discuss now about all these topics. Yes. Anything else? All right. Grantaraj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Om Stai Bhutri Shmar Bhakti Vedanta Samarin Namare Namaste Saraswati Devi Durvani Virachadi Nane Shri Shushunavari Bhachati Satarine.
You can do a kirtan?
Yeah? You want to chant?
Maybe you can film from that and then I can do the chant.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranidhai, Jaya Gauranidhai.
Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai, Jai, Hari 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 Bol.